they're cumulative, but they're very discouraging. They work just below the surface line. Sometimes you might feel like, well, something's just not right with this. You know, what just happened here in this conversation? It's built into an organizational culture and discourages creativity and risk-taking. Dr. Mary Rowe from MIT actually began studying microinequities in the 1970s. And she referred to them as the invisible behaviors in the workplace. And she saw these barriers as actually separating people from one another. They created glass ceilings, and the invisible behaviors actually stop people from being promoted within an organization. In recent years, the term has actually been broadened to include microinequities occurring whenever people are perceived as being different. These perceptual differences are generally related to race, to gender, sexual orientation, age, or position level. At Cornell University's Diversity Management Program, I teach training difficult issues in diversity, and we actually tie in microinequities around race, gender, and age issues. Microinequities occur when people perceive that they are receiving differential treatment based on some aspect of their difference. Now, I want to be real clear. Everyone experiences microinequities, but the intensity of the damage is great when people perceive that it's based on some aspect of their difference. Microinequities are fiendishly efficient and perpetuating unequal opportunity in organizations. You see, it really is the cumulative effect of these microinequities that silently begins to erode and sabotage an organization's effort to create and sustain a viable and diverse workforce. The concept of diversity is about knowledge, it's about understanding, it's about acceptance, and it's about behavior. And research indicates that diversity initiatives have primarily concentrated on things that are related to perceived behaviors and that cause some type of workplace exclusion. And these behaviors have a tendency to be things that are easily seen or identified. It may be a law firm with all male partners, with all white partners, or it may be an organization with one minority person, or maybe just 2 or 3 minority individuals. However, what is more pervasive are the invisible behaviors, and they're more damaging. It's the invisible behaviors that drive the high turnover of women and minorities from organizations. These perceived differences can actually establish an environment of insider versus outsider roles and behaviors. Who's on the track for promotion? Who's a part of the in crowd? Or a feeling of someone feeling just like, oh, I just work here. I'm sure at some point you have all heard someone in an office say, oh, we're just the peons here. Well, they may have said it very playfully, but there's a lot more to it than that. In terms of differences and similarities, researchers have found that rejecting differences is a human reaction. We all do it. It's really thought to be hardwired into our brains. The word like means to have affection for something or to be similar. And so as individuals, we prefer what is similar and oftentimes will reject the difference. Each of us sees the world through our own unique lens. And your legacy plus your layer equals your lens. Your legacy is your family history, whatever that is. Your layer is who you are as an attorney, as a judge, as a male, as a female, as a mother, father, husband, wife, sister, brother, daughter, or son. And that is how you're going to perceive the world around you, and that's how you process the world around you. So with that, we look for what is expected, and when we get something that's different, our first reaction really is to reject those differences, oftentimes using exclusionary behavior. Negative perceptions, our biases, and our stereotypes, conscious or if they're unconscious, really drive the decision as to who's asked to join the firm, how they're going to be evaluated, how they're going to be promoted, and ultimately how they're going to be compensated. Mary Rowe states that microinequities exert their influence both by walling out an individual, setting up a wall where basically they're invisible. You can just see through them. And then also by making the person of difference feel less effective. And what this means is that the person usually becomes invisible. They're on the payroll, but they become invisible. No one really understands the true contribution that they can make to an organization. So this can lead to underpaying minorities in an office or person in the office is not quite sure what it is that you do, then you become invisible, and they really just don't understand your contributions. And this can lead to people being overlooked for promotions. I'm sure everyone has seen the example in an organization where the company decides to recruit from the outside. It's like we're looking around and we just don't quite see the talent that we need here. But oftentimes the person right in front of them has everything that it takes and can make a significant contribution and should be given a promotion. But for all purposes, they have been invisible. The level of access to opportunity and to organizational networks can in fact differ for members of different groups. Right now, I'd like to show you a clip from Dunder Mifflin as a manager is reviewing organizational assignments.
Fairfield County Schools. Karen, did you generate that price list?
Shoot. Well, sorry.
Okay, just get it done. Jim, will you make sure? Oh, yeah. Suck up. Josh, did you hear what I said? Thank you, everyone.
Did you all see the micro inequity? While Dunder and Mifflin really is a fictional account of office life, the behavior that we observe actually does occur every single day. Kim certainly felt slighted when her manager felt that she couldn't handle an account when she certainly could handle it. Microinequities cause people to be excluded based on all kinds of differences that they bring to an organization. It might be with race, where a minority person is never given an opportunity to work with the most high-profile client. Or with age, where an older attorney will tell younger attorneys, oh, you all just had it so much easier in law school, you know, you just can't relate to what we're talking about. Or in an office where there's a senior person and everyone else is younger, and one is saying, oh, you know, you're grandpa, you're the nicest person, but when are you going to retire? And everybody else isn't called grandma and grandpa. Or around education, does your office only hire from a certain law school? And if they do hire from a certain law school and you happen to be working there, is everyone else considered very scholarly and you're not? Some examples of microinequities actually include working on your computer. Someone comes in to talk to you and you never look up and they really want to engage with you in a very important conversation, but you don't quite recognize them. You leave, somebody else comes in, oh, Bob, come on in, what can I do for you? Let me talk to you. How about checking your watch while talking with someone that never indicated that your time is limited? How about senior level employee only saying hello to other senior level employees? Now here's a flash. How about a senior level person in a meeting, texting and reading emails while a staff person is talking? How about acknowledging some staff members and not acknowledging everyone in the room? Or simply cutting someone off in mid-sentence when they're trying to talk to you. These kinds of examples, they happen every single day in real life to people. Stephen Young, the vice president of J.P. Morgan Chase, popularized the term of microinequities. Barry Rowe coined the term, but Stephen Young has popularized it. What he states is that microinequities are so ignored in organizations because the slights are culturally ingrained and no one even notices that they are occurring. I need you to get this for me. Hand me that. Go down and get those documents without a thank you attached to it. When microinequities generate those subtle messages, it often leads those in an organization to question their value and the contribution that they can even make to an organization. Once again, it's those invisible forces and barriers that prevent the creation of an inclusive work environment. You see, when employees don't feel valued, inevitably, someone is going to experience that. So what happens is that this hurts your business, it impacts your clients, it impacts your employee recruitment and retention, reduces productivity, and eventually it results in lost revenue. Not too long ago, Gallup poll did a survey of over 1 million employees it was really a worldwide survey of multiple companies. And they asked 12 key questions. And those questions all could be boiled down to just one. And that was, do employees feel valued? their colleagues and